Welcome, welcome! It's Mud Dog with the TexasSpaceNavy bringing you another Star Citizen video. And today I thought I would bring you yesterday's Roadmap Roundup. First of all, thank you everybody tuning into the video. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. And happy Halloween to everybody, especially here in the US. I don't know where else everybody's celebrating Halloween or not, but happy Halloween. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I know here locally, a lot of people are avoiding the pandemic, but they're still having a great time trick-or-treating and everything else. My wife and I actually went through a haunted car wash, which was a lot of fun. At least I had fun scaring her during the whole process. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. Let's get into the Roadmap Roundup for October 30th, 2020. So, they've had some notable changes, and quite a few, and most of them are for 3.12, obviously, because 3.11 is already out. There's only one thing missing from 3.11. That's right, the Mercury Star Runner. Let's go ahead and hit it right off the bat. It is in polishing, which means it's done. They're just, fine-tuning it. I really think it's been done, but they're not going to put it out until the IAE here in a few weeks. So be prepared for that on November 20th, or actually whenever Crusader drops their ships. I would expect that to be one of the center of attention of all the ships. So yeah, it is definitely ready to go. We just have to wait and see when they want to drop it. All right, so back into the 3.12 column. They've added a few new cards. AI fire mode usage and targeting priorities. So now they've got some functionality to the AI where they're going to actually, the bigger turrets are going to shoot at bigger ships. The smaller turrets are going to shoot at the smaller ships. So let's say you've got a hammerhead and you've got, a couple of Super Hornets flying, escort, and you encounter an Idris, which we'll get into here in a minute. The Idris would then target the hammerhead with the bigger ship-to-ship turrets, and then the Super Hornets will get the brunt of the smaller turret fire. It only makes sense that you're going to put your big guns on the big ship, the one that's going to actually do damage to, because your little guns probably aren't going to do anything to it. So AI Intercepting Torpedoes. So part of 3.12 is a rework of missiles, torpedoes, countermeasures, and what they're talking about here is torpedoes have been slowed down quite a bit. So they're going to be much slower than what they were, but they're going to do more devastating damage. So your size 9 torpedoes from your Eclipse, from your Retaliator, they're going to do some nasty damage if you can hit. The problem is those torpedoes can be shot down. So I imagine even a fighter can go in and shoot down those torpedoes, or even sacrifice itself jumping in front of a torpedo to bring it down before it makes contact with one of those bigger ships. So yeah, AI will actually be trying to intercept those and shoot them down if you're shooting at the big ships. AI Accuracy Convergence, so they are making it more accurate, or at least more believable accuracy. And the players who learn how to evade in fights, you'll be able to evade a lot of those shots, whereas some players who just go straight on or in straight lines, you'll be much more easy to predict and take more damage when the time comes. When they start opening up on you. Capital ship combat behavior improvements. So this is more improvement to ship AI. It's going to be focusing on maneuvering, targeting, and the use of the capital ship weapons. And it involves full awareness of the loadout, available turrets, the number of combatants it's going against. The pilot will react and position the ship according to whatever combat scenario it's facing. So it's going to be able to detect, hey, do we have 15 ships or do we have 3 that we have to bring down? Which ships are more of a threat? Which ones aren't? These are the ones we're going to focus on. So that's what they have in store for capital ship AI. And that is kind of crazy. I'm interested in seeing that in action. So I'm sure, well, again, we'll get to where this capital ship behavior is coming. it's going to be very interesting to you guys. Actually, it's up at the top of this. I might as well talk about it. But now, if you have a big enough threat, or if you're a big enough threat, or you have a big enough crime stat, or the group of you have a big enough crime stat, it will spawn an Idris to take you on at rest stops. So that's what they're talking about when they talk about capital ships. You can face an Idris in 312. You know, they've been wanting to get the Idris in there for quite some time, and I guess right now it's in a good state. They're going to bring it in, and we're going to have to deal with one if you're a criminal. So it should be a lot of fun and very interesting, especially if you got a bunch of torpedoes that can go in. They might be able to do some massive damage to that Idris if they can get through fighter screen, or even the small turrets that are firing weapons at it. Capital ship, turrets, and torpedoes, visual effects, sound effects improvements. So they've improved upon all that stuff, so that's good. Countermeasure version 1.1. With these improvements to countermeasure gameplay, the amount deployed countermeasures will play a more important role in the chance of spoofing missiles. Single countermeasures will be less effective, but players will have the ability to choose how many should be fired with each burst. Different missiles will have varying degrees of countermeasure resilience. So, what that means is, instead of firing one chaff or one flare to try to deal with missiles, you may have to fire 4 or 5. Or you may have to fire one, break right, fire another one, break left, fire another one to spoof the missile before it gets to you. So countermeasures are going to be more important than ever, especially how many you're going to use. This will have to be heavily tested to figure out what exactly they mean by more countermeasures. Do they mean like firing off 5 right in a row? 5 in a line, or breaking in between firing of them? What's going to be most effective for spoofing those missiles? So that's something that I hope that my org will definitely play around with to figure out, hey, what's going to work best here? Torpedo attack, counterbalance, and behavior. So they have a rebalance of all the size 9 torpedoes. I told you they're going to be deadlier, but they're going to be slower. So you can definitely take one out. You're going to be able to target one probably and shoot it down before it gets to enemy ships. So if you are in a torpedo bomber, it's going to be pivotal that you get as close as you can without being spotted, lock up the target as quickly as you can, and fire it so they have less time to react to that torpedo coming in. That's something that's going to have to be played with as well, because we really don't know how well the stealth mechanics are going to work. Like if you're in Eclipse and you're going against an Idris, how close can you get before that thing spots you? Because the radar on the Idris is going to be good. So yeah, we'll have to see. And any Idris with the right mind is going to have, a tracker or a terrapin nearby, anyways. But I digress. So another card that's been added to 312 is the mining Ui Refactor. We saw that what they were doing with that. That is really cool. They've also put in, the Aegis rework, the HUD rework. So that's something to look forward to as well. I'm really looking forward to both these HUD reworks, these UI reworks, because like the mining one's going to give you all the information you need there. So's the Aegis one. It should look really sharp. I just hope that it's big enough that you can see without a microscope or a magnifying glass or a telescope or whatever it is you want to use to try to see it. I hope it's big enough that you can see what's showing up on the screen. Then some of the following changes have occurred. So the sniper rifle, the Gemini AO3 sniper rifle from Bearing. That's interesting. Gemini and Bearing. That's odd. The name of the card's been corrected, so it's a Gemini and no longer a Bearing, I assume. The Lost System version 2, so it's not going to make it. They just didn't have time to complete this out. It's still being worked on. There's still a lot of stuff that has to be done on the visual and audio. So it's going to be removed from the roadmap. You won't expect to see it there. Then the Grin multi-tool tractor beam attachment. That's the tractor beam. It's been moved to gameplay part of 3.12, so it's still in. You guys looking forward to the tractor beam stuff? It's still getting version 0. It's just been moved to the gameplay section because it's, you know, a type of gameplay. Then, of course, the Mercury Star Runner is now being polished. We could also go look at the roadmap and see how far they are through things. If you look at the locations, Stanton System Spacescaping is about halfway done. Refinery deck, not a lot of progress done there, though I'm pretty sure they've actually made progress. Then they also have all this other stuff, this AI stuff in polishing, which is phenomenal. They added those cards in there, and I mean, they're done. So that's great news. The Ui Refactor for mining is 4 out of 6. Countermeasures polished. Torpedo balance. All this stuff is in polishing. That's fantastic. Vehicle entry identification. So this is adding visual hints to where vehicles can be entered when in proximity. So instead of like holding down the F key and moving your mouse around trying to find the way to enter, they're going to give us some sort of visualization on how to enter those ships. Station-based refining, it's making progress. It's almost complete. Obviously, the refinery decks are going to need to be complete as well. The tractor beam, it's not quite halfway through. Weapon zeroing, it's not made any progress. Elevator panel updates, about halfway through. There's a lot to do there, and they've been working on it for, what, 3-4 patches now? So don't hold your breath, but maybe it'll all get done before the end of December. Xperia Talon, as you can tell, it went from like 12 tasks to 44. So it's only about halfway through, both on the Shrike and the regular Talon. The Bearing F7 or FS9 LMG, not much work been done there. And the sniper rifle, not a whole lot of work done there. But that is the roadmap roundup for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Are there any things that stick out to you? Let me know in the comments down below. What are you looking forward to most in 3.12? Is it the Idris? I mean, I'm totally looking forward to that. That'd be awesome. Let me know in the comments down below as well. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you to all my Patreon and YouTube members. You guys are so awesome. If you want to join that group of people, those generous folks who have supported this channel, you can do that in the description down below. There'll be links to join either one of those. You can get into the YouTube for just $1. That is awesome if you choose to do that, and I certainly do appreciate it. I do want to have some videos coming up, especially for the Patreon and YouTube members. I'm still kind of working on some of that. Hopefully I'll be able to put 1 or 2 together tomorrow for you guys. So that's something to look forward to. And yeah, guys, thank you so much once again. I'm Mud Dog with the Texas Space Navy, and I'll see you out in the verse.